Hello, everybody. Welcome to the True Life Show. Today, guys, are you ready for this one? Because we got our big boys, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, who have had another huge win for those on Social Security. I'm telling you, Elon Musk was not lying whenever he said that we would make sure that everyone on Social Security would see an increase, and you can mark my words. Elon Musk has launched a new Social Security anti-fraud initiative, and Trump has now signed a new executive order that bars illegal aliens from receiving Social Security. And on top of that, he has signed a ton more executive orders to help out everybody in the United States, guys. This is what I love. Not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. Trump has signed executive orders to lower prescription drug prices through discounts, negotiation program improvements, and facilitating imports for states with radical transparency. He has streamlined decision-making for choosing new federal facilities to ensure cost effectiveness, memo ordering agencies to streamline environmental permits for infrastructure projects, and for the pharmaceutical EO lowers the price of insulin to as low as 3 cents for low-income patients and the uninsured. Epinephrine for the same group of people for as low as $15. So not only are they coming out signing executive orders left and right, it's all putting America first, guys. This is what I love, because the amount of fraud that is in Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid is upwards of almost $200 billion a year, guys. And now they're launching this investigation. They're going into there and they want to return this money back to the American people to give the increase, baby. This is what we're talking about. And not only that, guys, listen to this. They've just announced it, that roughly 21,000 IRS employees have now signed the Trump's deferred resignation offer. So this is literally cutting 20% of the IRS agency employees, because remember, they don't want you, the Democrats don't want you looking into the federal government and the audits like how Elon Musk is doing. But boy, did they sign on 20,000 new employees to go and make sure that if you give somebody $600 through Venmo or the Cash App, that they're going to track it and you better report it. Not only that, so they have accepted that they will take paid leave through September 30th. This comes as the tax season ends. And guys, this is helping to limit government size big time. And oh, you're going to love what I'm about to tell you next, because what goes around comes around, guys. And if this is not some sweetness for Donald Trump, newly uncovered documents allege that New York Attorney General Letitia James has committed mortgage fraud by attempting to list a Virginia property as her primary residence while actively serving in New York, sparking investigations from, guess what, guys? The DOJ, baby. The very same people that went after Trump trying to make up all this stuff on him have now been caught, guys, doing the exact same thing. All this mortgage fraud, everything that they said Trump was doing, they've actually been doing it. How insane is this? The tables have turned, and what I love is the accountability, guys. We are stepping into a new era, not only of putting Americans first, but of accountability for all these dang evil, just manipulative, lawfare-seeking people trying to put away people that are putting Americans first. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, guys. Thank you to all of our subscribers and all of our viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our True Life News family here. We want you here. We want to serve you every day with the top news. And guys, I'm telling you this, we are growing this community. I'm so thankful to get to do this every day for you. And we just want to continue to give you the best show ever. I want to say thank you to our members of the channel. Already have Ruby Hoove. Thank you so much for gifting one True Life News membership. And Pierre and Paulette Vanusterum, welcome to the family. Guys, y'all show the members some love in the chat. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Remember, the memberships and super chats go to charity, local charities, on the 22nd, every single month, live on stream. We donate, guys, and I'm telling you, we're making a difference. But y'all show Marlene Dimmitt some love in the chat. Thank you so much, Marlene. Guys, this is such good news. I'm so excited to get to show you this. Let's get the popcorn ready. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much. Check this out.
Revealed nearly half of the Social Security Administration's daily calls are from scammers trying to steal the benefits. The agency is finally cracking down. Starting today, all phone claims get screened for fraud. Red flags, you've got to show up in person and you're showing ID. Showing ID, what a concept here. So novel. But Musk says that it's common sense approaches like this that will save billions of dollars and make sure that Social Security is here for future generations.
How do you reassure people that what you all are doing is not going to affect their benefits?
No, in fact, what we're doing will help their benefits. Legitimate people, as a result of the work of Doge, will receive more Social Security, not less. I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of Doge, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less.
But is fighting fraud enough? We're staring down a $78 trillion shortfall in Social Security and Medicare. That's the combined net worth of over 200 Elon Musks. So Washington can't just patch the holes here. It's got to right the whole ship.
Yes.
Congressman, I want to come to you to get your thoughts on this. And we have a full screen here that we can show to everyone to just illustrate how Medicaid costs have absolutely skyrocketed since the year 2000. Going through 2023, they have gone up by more than 300%, roughly 350%. We're talking around from roughly $200 billion in 2000 to over $900 billion in 2023.
Wow.
We cannot continue on this path. But I'm wondering, how can members of the GOP talk about...
Guys, and I hate to tell you this, but remember, there was 1.3 million illegal immigrants getting Medicare. You know why there was such a huge bump in the chart that you just saw? Because they imported a ton, millions and millions of illegal immigrants that should never have been here, but the Biden administration took your hard-earned tax dollars and gave it to them, and that's why you saw that big increase in that chart. Marilee Williams, thank you so much for gifting a True Life News membership. Let's go. Y'all show Marilee some love in the chat.
Reining this in without being accused of cutting everyone's benefits, because that's what they're being accused of.
Yeah, and it's no matter what they do, they're going to be accused of that. And they understand there's a double standard here. So let me just tell you, so when I was chairman of the Ways and Means Committee in President Trump's first term, someone tried to steal my Social Security benefits. Wow. And we have oversight over Social Security, and we had someone trying to scam that. This is real. So the short answer is every dollar that Elon Musk can save, integrity and so is helpful. Yeah, these are huge numbers. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna take a bipartisan effort to save Social Security. I think you're going to have to, there's some common sense things that can be done to slowly raise the full retirement age, means test for the wealthy, get a cost of living that relates to seniors, not 20-somethings. There's some really good things, but it would help to start with some integrity, within the Social Security Administration. I think that's the value of what Elon Musk is doing.
I think you're absolutely right. And it shocks me when we take the waste and the fraud, and you've got Democrats who don't want to get rid of that, can't agree to that. But also ideologically, Congressman, we've got a major issue, because it's the Democrats versus the Republicans that want to expand these programs. President Obama did it with Medicaid. President Biden did it. The reason those numbers jump so much is because you've got illegal immigrants that shouldn't be on the program. Dagan's highlighted the fact that you've got states that don't do income checks. They just let people go on the rolls. And the expansion of that, when you give things, then it becomes very hard to take them away from people. And they're out there. Pandora's box has been opened. And now you see the Republican senators who feel conflicted because they're afraid. They're afraid if they get on board with Mike Johnson and these kinds of spending cuts, people are going to say exactly what Lydia said. You're throwing Granny off the cliff. I'm not going to vote for you.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's there and it's real, and people back home buy it. But I think more and more Republicans are willing to lean into and explain, get out there on the campaign trail and explain why every dollar they...
Guys, if y'all appreciate what Elon Musk is doing, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments in the chat. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Like, I'm telling you, if we don't do this, the Democrats never will. We would never have uncovered how many millions of illegal immigrants on Social Security, on Medicaid. That's what the Democrats were trying to cover up because they were trying to turn them into voters. Guys, this is what bothers me, is that Elon Musk and them are actively trying to help the average American person, and they're being looked at as criminals. Like, that's how the Democrats are pointing them out to be to the rest of their constituents. But if you appreciate exposing the truth, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Strengthens it.
Right.
For the poor, Medicaid's a great example. We're under Obamacare. You incentivize the wealth or the more well-to-do who aren't working, mainly men, but you starve the single mom who's giving birth or senior in a nursing home. That makes no sense at all. Republicans, to their credit, want to change the way we provide that safety net in a good way.
Well, but there are some Republicans who are not so strong on this right now. Like, they are, the spine is, what was the line? It's the spine like a chocolate eclair. I think that's what Roosevelt said about McKinley or something like that. But that's what some of these guys operate like. The senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley. He's out there, and there's a lot of things I like about him, but man, he does not want to talk Medicaid. And I'm looking at some of these numbers, and these were actually, I didn't know, you've got 21 million able-bodied people on Medicaid, okay? Now, many of them probably need that, but you've got 6 in 10 of those people who don't earn any income. How can the vision of a Republican Party be, I want to protect a system that it seems to be better at keeping able-bodied people out of work than fostering them getting into work? And if you don't believe in work as a Republican, you should find a different party or a different profession, because you are not helping the American people. So I wish there were more Republicans who had a little more spine in articulating that philosophical message about work and the role of government in that.
Guys, let me tell you this, like, how crazy is it? Because again, all this stuff, it all boils down, and I got to show you this because I do appreciate when our boy, he's kind of our boy, guys, when he steps up and he calls it out like it is. But right now, we have so much fraud. We have so much people that are not supposed to be on certain things doing it, getting it, and it's time to stop it, guys. We need to get back to what America is supposed to be. Check this out.
I challenge you or anybody on your staff, do a word search for Medicaid on the resolution that we passed last night. You will not find it. That is not part of this equation, okay? We're talking about finding efficiencies in every program, but not cutting benefits for people who rightly deserve that. Work requirements for Medicaid. That is something that is public opinion polls almost 90%. You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work. That's what everybody supports. That's what the Republicans are for. And by the way, we find dignity in our work. That's going to be good for everybody.
Let's go. Guys, look, like I said, when we actually get the truth from some of this, guys, I just got to show you guys. Because one of the biggest things is we need this right here. When we found out that there was almost 5 million illegals on Social Security, had Social Security numbers, and some of them getting Social Security, all I could think about was, dang, how many people that are on Social Security can't even get a $1,000 check? And they've paid into the system their entire lives. Like, this is how messed up this is. But what I'm super happy about is they're actually doing something about it now. They're actually putting measures in to fix things, put America first, and get our systems fixed, cleaned up, get out all the fraud, waste, and abuse. Tired of it, guys, because remember, the Democrats can't stand this. They hate Elon Musk doing all this, but you know what? Doesn't matter, because American people want common sense. Listen to this.
How did that happen? It was the first days of the Biden administration. We were talking to the guys at Birch Gold. They approached us, and I said, look, they're going to start passing these massive spending bills because the Democrats got it. They control everything. House, Senate, White House. You remember the lies? You know, you got AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're running around. Oh, end of the oligarchy, end of the oligarchy. Listen to the speeches. Just don't watch Rachel Maddow and the big crowd. They're drawing big crowds. Let's lay that out. 30-some thousand on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, downtown LA, big crowd, maybe 34, 35,000. Huge crowd in Salt Lake City, Utah, 24, 25,000 people, look like in the arena. Big crowd. They're drawing big crowds. Watch the speeches. It's all happy talk. It's DEI. It's the Green New Deal. It's Medicare for all. It's Obamacare. It's all of it. No talking about economic nationalism. No talking about populism. Why they can't? They have no earthly idea what they're talking about. So AOC, kind of flitting around up there, now they're saying AOC, she's drawing these huge crowds. Is she 2028? God bless her. Go for it. Do it. Jump in the arena. Bernie's lathered up. He'd love to do it, except he's 83 years old. And he was hapless at the top of his game. He's totally hapless. If you're a Bernie bro, you're hapless. He had 2 shots at the Clintons. Not one, he had 2. And I can tell you from someone that worked very closely with President Trump in 2016, but years before running Breitbart, we made a target on the Clintons, just like they target MAGA. And the liberal media does. It's the reason I was brought into Trump's campaign in August, because we were specialists in the Clintons. And you can't go after the Clintons in a my pillow fight, Bernie Sanders. You're going to take it on. You got to take it on. All you do is wander on stage like a hapless old man yammering. So if that's the answer to MAGA, if that's it, have at it. Listen to the speeches, and the crowds aren't fired up at the end because people yammered about nothing important. Chinese Communist Party said from the beginning, one of the central features of what they're trying to do is the de-dollarization of the world. That's what we said. Hey, this spending is going to be so out of control that the BRICS are actually going to have an argument. They're going to say, hey, how can we trust the foreign devils? How can we trust the American elites or the Western elites? All they're doing is burying everybody in this paper called fiat currency, called a U.S. dollar. The entire post-war system was set up in Bretton Woods with the dollar as the stability factor. That's not when the elites got so greedy and would take it all for themselves, because they knew the end was coming. They knew this was not sustainable. They knew what they had done with China, and that was not sustainable. They knew it. So let's get it now while we can. That's all this massive spending's about. Remember, the massive spending.
Guys, let me tell you this. Like, the amount of spending that happens in the Democrats that blatantly just don't even care anymore. That there's fraud. That people are getting kickbacks. Guys, I'm looking over here. I'm looking at the news. There's breaking. Like, you would not believe our previous president, Lord Jesus. Biden just came out and said the Republicans are trying to steal Social Security. There's somebody on Social Security that's 300 years old getting Social Security. I want to meet them. I'd like to figure out how to live that long. A heck of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity too. Like, what is, like, he's saying it with a straight face. He's reading his teleprompter. Like, guys, this is a joke that we're literally living in, that the Democrats have done this. The deep state have done this. They've spent us into oblivion. $37 trillion in national debt, and now we're all figuring it out. Guys, this literally gets under my skin.
Supports them, so this is why, brother Larry Kudlow, I love Larry Kudlow, and I love me some Steve Moore. These are good men. They've been at this a long time. The fact that they're dead wrong about economics, I'll leave to the side, but they're good people, and I like them both. And they're good colleagues to work with. But man, are they lathered up now like I've never seen them lathered up. Larry Kudlow's losing over in Fox Business. What's he losing about? What would you think Larry Kudlow would lose about? Wait for it. Tax increase on the wealthy. You damn right. The elites are what got us in this jam, and they're the ones that have basically pushed the massive spending. They have not wanted it stopped. If they'd wanted it stopped, it had been stopped.
Dang.
Well, may I just say, Steve, that I wish Republicans in Congress would be the MAGA fire breathers that all of the MSNBC hosts talk them up to be. Maybe they should use that as some inspiration. I think this country would be in a much better place. The so-called authoritarian takeover that President Trump is trying to roll out over a bunch of weak, spineless Republicans, I think it would be in a much better place. I would just point you to the $37 trillion deficit. But all of that aside, although I guess it's maybe all interlinked, because I guess the best that Congress can do when it comes to holding these rogue judges accountable is have some subcommittee level hearing that does absolutely nothing, though I think they canceled it. We have another judge, the judge who's now responsible for blocking what would be the removal of over 500,000 people here, CHNV parole program. This is a Boston district judge, an Obama appointee, of course, Indira Talwani. But what is, you can probably guess, so interesting about her, she has volunteered on several Democratic campaigns. This is, of course, exclusive reporting for you guys here in the War Room, including but not limited to knocking doors, holding signs, and phone banking on behalf of people like President Barack Obama and Elizabeth Warren. But even more concerning, in 2012, she received an award from the Chinese Progressive Association. The audience may be semi-familiar with this group because they've funded Black Lives Matter, but they've actually have deep, deep ties to the Chinese Communist Party, particularly in their founding. They were founded by a group of pro-Mao Marxist militants, and there's really been a through line. They continually praise not just the Chinese Communist Party and in turn get glowing coverage from Chinese state-run media outlets, but their founders have praised essentially the Cultural Revolution. And just to add yet another conflict of interest to this, like I said, judge who is trying to advocate to keep hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens in this country. Her brother has repeatedly been involved with and held events, headlined events with the ACLU out in Montana. But you have to remember the ACLU is really the railhead of a lot of this, pro-open borders stuff, particularly when it comes to the lawfare against President Trump and even some of these parole programs. So this is yet again the latest example of a radical rogue judge who is stepping in the way, trying to stop President Trump from deporting, I was about to say criminal gang members. That's a whole other vertical, but in this case, probably just criminals and maybe some gang members.
Guys, let me tell you this. When the judge trying to stop 500,000 people from being deported that Trump's trying to send out, these rogue judges, they're not going to stop. Like, this bothers me so much because Congress is not doing anything. Where they passed the No Rogue Rules Judges Act, guess what they've done, guys? They've gone on dang vacation for 2 weeks. Congress is on vacation. Senate is on vacation. The House is on vacation. I thought we were in the middle of trying to change this world, trying to change America. But you got Trump over here. He's not taking a dang vacation. He's over here signing executive orders, making America better. Listen to this. Signed an executive order to lower prescription drug prices. No Social Security benefits for illegal aliens. Lowering the price of insulin and epinephrine. Like, this is Trump's over here getting things done. Senators, congressmen over there taking vacation for 2 weeks. Guys, I just want to smack every single one of those leaders, and I don't care if they're Republican, and say, what are you doing? Get to work. Serve the American people. If you appreciate this, guys, support the channel. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gene Copedge, for the super chat. He says Social Security was a terrible program from the beginning. Let's replace it with an investment plan that people can live on and on after they retire. 100%. Gene Copedge, thank you so much. I'll show Gene some love in the chat. Let me tell you this, guys. Social Security, that's a Ponzi scheme. That is a scheme if I've ever seen one. If you even think about it, if you made $40,000 a year, $30,000 a year, we'll say $35,000. That's like the average in America is 60, so you're getting close to half of the average. And you put the same amount of money into just the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones that you put into Social Security, guess what? You'd retire with almost $2 million if you started working at age 18. But guess what? You'd be drawing just on the interest alone. you'd be drawing like $80,000, $90,000 a year. But no, that they've got people over here who are paid into Social Security their entire lives and barely getting $1,000 a month. It's all, guys, I'm telling you, I'm ready for reform like nobody's business. 100%. And then what I'm ready for too, guys, is I'm ready to clean up America. Check this out.
Cards has suddenly found one to play. The fear card. Democrats are now warning that President Trump is going to disappear you. Why? Because 47 floated the idea of deporting some of the most twisted, violent American criminals, think Hannibal Lecter on steroids, and shipping them off to a foreign prison.
We're getting rid of our criminals from out of the United States that were allowed to come in by Biden. We're getting them out. And the president is helping us with that, President Bukele.
Could we use it for violent criminals, our own violent criminals?
I call them homegrown criminals.
Yes.
I mean, the
homegrowns.
The ones that grew up and something went wrong and they hit people over the head with a baseball bat. We have, and push people into subways just before the train gets there, like you see happening sometimes.
That's horrible.
We are looking into it and we want to do it. I would love to do that.
And now the left's word that Trump is about to disappear The View.
We are watching our neighbors, students, and friends being fired, targeted, and disappeared. It is real.
The Trump administration's claim legally is that they can take anyone in the United States and disappear them to a foreign country.
There is not included in Title 18, send someone out of the country, much less to a hellhole prison in another country.
What stops Donald Trump from wrongfully labeling any American as a non-citizen gang member and abducting them in the dead of night and rendering them to a foreign prison to be tortured?
He's going to do that to U.S. citizens. I think the hosts of The View are about to get administratively errored.
Did you hear this fear-mongering, guys? Like, golly, if this is not next-level propaganda fear-mongering, I don't know what is. These people are saying, oh, they're going to go after U.S. citizens. They're going to go after people that are here legally. They've never done that. All the people are criminals. Like this, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. Like, does this bother you as much as it bothers me?
Dems in the media also playing the fear card over their so-called Maryland dad, championing the return of the alleged MS-13 gangbanger and designated foreign terrorist, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, after Trump sent the Salvadorian migrant back home to El Salvador. Democrat Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen is actually going to fly to El Salvador to show his solidarity.
You've got a Maryland man who's the father of 3, illegally detained in a notorious prison in El Salvador. It is absolutely unjust and illegal to have this Marylander detained one more day in a notorious prison in El Salvador.
I don't think so. I think his voice was breaking, but I'm not sure.
It's going through puberty.
Maybe. I mean, it happens goes for a while.
Wow.
Obviously, the rule of law is important. I don't know whether the president was joking about homegrown. I think it might behoove them to maybe clarify. He said it more than once, but it kind of reminds me of the third term talk. So I'm not exactly sure. But I also know this, that for years we had no system to vet anybody that was just walking across the border into our country. Not only that, President Biden made up this thing, the CNHV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela parole program, so that they didn't even have to make an effort to cross the border illegally. They could just fly in. And now we have to vet all of them to get them out. And it seems like this continual problem for the Biden administration that they're not
Did you hear that? Like, oh my goodness, look. We let people come in and we didn't vet them one bit. And now these dang Democrats are saying, we need to give them due process. We cannot just deport them. We can't just do this. Like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me right now? You literally brought in over 20 million. They didn't have to show proof of anything to get into the country. And now it's costing us billions of dollars to vet them DOJ, FBI, Homeland Security, everybody, to get them out. And the Democrats are like, I can't even, the amount of thought process that goes into these people is like, I can't even imagine, guys. It's like I honestly think of it like in the Spanish terms of burro, where it's a donkey. They don't think. These Democrats aren't thinking. How could you want to vet every single person trying to leave when you didn't even vet them coming in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys.
Actually being held accountable for, because Biden's not really doing anything. Kamala's not doing interviews. Everybody else is like melting into the woodwork, and all the books are coming out saying that nobody really knew what they were doing anyway. So I think that is a problem. And I also believe that if the Democrats want to fly to the border, now they want to go. Yeah. Now they want to check. And so I'm for the rule of law. And I think this is actually a very interesting case. The White House had said, they said on Monday that for 72 hours, the press got it wrong and that the Supreme Court's decision was actually in their favor 9-0, and complained then that the press got it wrong for 72 hours. But also well, then if they got it wrong, then 72 hours on that day, tell everybody. And then you could have a debate, and you could have some people saying they're right, they're wrong. Jonathan Turley on America's Newsroom today thought that the White House had a good point. So I don't know. I actually don't know where it goes from here. I'm curious to hear what the judge thinks, because at this point, going down to get him doesn't seem, I don't think Van Hollen is coming back with Maryland Man.
Excuse me, El Presidente, yeah. I'd like to see MS-13 in the mega prison.
Yeah, well, Bukele has already said in answer to CNN, Caitlin Collins of the Oval Office yesterday, he says, number one, I am not going to release him to the United States. I don't have the power to take him out of a prison and force him to come to your country, number one. And number two, I don't want to release this gang member out of my prison and put him in my country that I have turned from one of the most violent countries and the murder capital of the world. I'm not going to allow him to go out and kill my people, which is a real commentary on this. Look, this is very simple. 2 courts have ruled that this guy is an MS-13 gang member. He has been deported as a result of a hearing and an appeal by an immigration court. He came here not as a member of, not through any asylum claim. He didn't come through a port of entry. He was a got-away. He didn't come in as a protected status person. He is a got-away who decided to come into this country. He's been here for 11 years. There is a reliable document that he's a member of MS-13, but even that doesn't matter anymore.
Wow.
Because there are 2 courts, immigration courts, that ordered him deported. He did not make any kind of case that allowed them to decide that he shouldn't be deported. Now, let's take that to where we are now. In addition to the fact that he's illegal, he's from El Salvador, he's in El Salvador now. No local district court judge has the right to say to the United States, you better go over there. What are we going to do? Send SEAL Team 6 over to the prison in El Salvador and bring this guy back? He doesn't belong here. He's illegal. He came here illegally. Immigration court said, get your tail out of this country. And now the Democrats are freaking out. This guy, Van Halen, this senator, he should be ashamed of himself.
Yes.
If you want to go over there and you want to check on an illegal who is in this country illegally and is a member of MS-13, and you don't want to talk about Rachel Morin, who is from your state.
He did.
This is an example.
Today.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Today he figured out he should.
He didn't.
Let me finish.
Ooh.
Okay. This is the
guys. I love this, guys. If you love this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, I'm telling you what. I love it when they get into a fight because, again, too, remember, Jessica, I don't know why they got her on there, but they do.
Problem. We've got people who belong in Congress, who've been elected to Congress, who are worried about illegals criminals and not worried about American citizens like
That's
Joe
true.
Biden. And that's the reason we're in this mess in the first place. Start caring about American citizens.
As to why he should not be deported. And it is not the same thing to deport someone to their home country as to send them to a prison.
Well, then
you know that.
First of all, the 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court
Boom.
held that the judge was wrong to think that she or he could enjoin the whole nation and dictate to a president
They said
international
facilitate
policy.
his return.
No. The facilitation, as the Attorney General herself said, was that if they decide to return him, no judge can tell the president you have to go into another country and pull a citizen of that country and bring him back here when he's illegal here in the first place.
Boom.
Greg, is this a constitutional crisis?
You know what's funny? I don't care. I honestly don't care. Do you not? I bet the viewers at home feel this narrative at work.
Mm-hmm.
What is strange about this story? What is the strange thing about this story? The majority of Americans favor deportation of illegals, especially those who are criminals, but they favor deportation of illegal. The last, 8 days, 7 days, has been around about one person.
Yep.
One person. I don't even know his name. I don't care. I don't care. If he's here illegal, he's got to go. We are not responsible for the faulty process that allowed him to be here before. Is he a terrorist? Is he not a terrorist? I don't care. Let me give you an analogy. This will be good for you because you like sports. You walk down to your box seats. There's somebody sitting in your seat. And you go, why is this guy sitting in my seat? And they go, well, he's not supposed to be there. But you know, he's a family man. He's got a job. It's like, yeah, but that's not on me. That's my seat. Don't you have a process for having him leave that seat? Yes, we do. Can he go back to his seat? Why doesn't he go back to his seat? It's not my concern where that seat is. He's got to go. Yes, but did you know he's been trying really hard to be a good citizen? He's really quiet. He's not making. No, you don't understand. He's got to go. Now we knew that this process wouldn't be easy.
No.
It was really easy for Democrats to open the floodgates and be seen as the heroes. Look how compassionate we are. It's always going to be harder to send them back. And you're going to be treated like a villain every single step of the way because adults fix the problems that children's cause. And sometimes
Guys, it literally, it's so true what Gutfeld is saying. And we know he's more like people know him for being the comedy guy and whatnot, but it's true. Like, it was so easy for them to open the floodgates and allow all these people to come in. Southern border, nobody says anything. And you couldn't say anything. Like, I want to show you some stuff. I want to show you I want to remind you what this looked like whenever this stuff happened. Because this blows my mind. How in the world? Look at this. Look at that line of people. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this line of people. You couldn't say anything about that. Couldn't say anything about these people going through. Look at this. Nothing about that. But boy, man, are we hearing it when we're trying to fix the problem, trying to close our border, trying to protect Americans, guys. This is what bothers me. Because this is what people don't actually see what happened. And Gene Kopich, thank you for the super chat. Teresa Weber, thank you for the super chat. And Sherry Garcia, so much good chats, guys. Because I'll tell you this. We are having outbreaks of the measles and all these crazy things that are happening in Texas. Well, Texas is where they all came from. But it blows my mind that they let them in and nobody could say anything. But boy, is everybody saying everything when we're trying to actually do what? Keep the country safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys, because I'm telling you, people are sick of it. Listen to this.
Even 3 full months into President Trump's presidency, into his administration.
Oh, sorry, guys. Wrong one. Oh. I've got you, guys. I've got you. 1 second. There you are. There it is. Alrighty, guys. I gotcha.
even 3 full months into President Trump's presidency, into his administration. We aren't even 3 full months into Republicans controlling the House and the Senate. And the economy is already improving. This is the real economy. You're seeing inflation going down by 2.4%. You're seeing energy going down by 20%. Eggs are down by 59%, and chickens are not being killed all over the country. You're seeing gas down at 59%. Airfare is down at 9%, and jobs are up by 228,000. This is the real economy, ladies and gentlemen, that affects you every single day in your life, and it's only been less than 3 months. We look forward to seeing more of this.
Let's go.
Now, this is one of the things that I think is absolutely shocking and shameful. Doge has marked now 9.9 million dead people. They are now marked deceased. 9.9 million people of the age 120 and older had Social Security numbers. This should anger you, should upset you. As we talk about Social Security, we are protecting Social Security. We are not cutting Social Security. But what we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals and the fraudsters that are using these Social Security numbers to steal your money. And I think this is one of the best things that we are seeing happen. I don't know I don't know about you guys. I don't know anyone 120 years old. We'll go to the next one. Thank you, Kayla. Kayla, you're doing a great job there.
Well, I got to sue President Trump. He's been around for less than a month. I said from day one on your show, Sean, he's a game changer. He proves to the American people every day why I consider him the greatest president of my lifetime. No one's had success like this. But I said it. I'm happy the numbers are up. I'm happy with the results so far. I am not satisfied. I will not be satisfied until every gang member, every illegal alien gang member, every illegal alien public safety threat and national security threat to eradicate in this country. So we're expanding the amount of teams now. We got Pam Bondi suing the sanctuary cities. We got Christy Noem on now. She's been out on the border patrol. She's been out ICE and law enforcement operations in a week that my organization has done in 4 years. Our team's coming together. You got Dr. Steve. We're all working together to increase those numbers until we can eradicate once and for all every illegal gang member and public safety threat and national security threat in this country. Foot's on the gas, and God bless President Trump for giving us the authorities, the resources to do this job. This is
Let's go.
It's all possible.
And because of the great work of Tom Homan and Christy Noem, look at these border statistics here. This is all because of President Trump, his agenda, and what he has put his team to work to do. The great men and women of ICE, the great men and women of Border Patrol, they are making America safe. These statistics are undeniable. Look at that, March of 2024. I serve on the Homeland Security Committee, and what we have seen over the past 4 years is astounding. March of 2024, 107,473 crossings in 1 month. Here we are 1 year later in March of 2025, we've got 7,181, a decrease of 95%. That's the difference in an election.
Let's go. Guys, let me tell you this, like that audio is pretty bad, but I got something, one of the most important parts of what she said today, because I'm telling you, this whole thing with Social Security is coming to an amazing win, guys, for the American people. Listen to this.
Your money in Social Security has already been taxed. It should have never been taxed. I don't know how we got in this place, but it must be undone. Senior citizens have suffered more than any group that I've talked to. It's been tragic and heartbreaking talking to many seniors over the past 4 years, because many of them I talked to could hardly pay their rent, had to choose between medication and groceries. told me how they couldn't afford to buy gifts for their grandchildren because they had to figure out how to afford to pay rent and how to figure out how to live. This is a tragedy, and because of inflation brought on this country from the Biden administration, and I'll add onto this, reckless spending for decades by both Republicans and Democrats. I'm going to say both. Inflation has gotten to a point where life is unaffordable and people's Social Security is hardly a drop in the bucket. And it shouldn't ever be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
Guys, again, like, I love this. I love when we get to see the transparency. I love when we get to see actual things happening like this. More than 20,000 IRS employees offered to resign. This is the remember, there was 20,000 employees that the Biden administration added because it's so blatant, guys. They want to be in everything that we do. We can't look at anything that the government's doing, but dang it, they want to look at every single transaction you spend your money on. And it blows my mind because, again, when we look at what is actually happening, we're seeing a reduction in government. What does that mean? What is the average IRS agent salary per year? What's this is the stuff that I think about, guys. So they're saying right now, holy moly. Wow. Okay. It's $70,000. So think about it. 20,000 of those IRS agents resign times 71,000 average. That's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Wow. That's $1.42 billion saved in salaries, guys. $1.4 billion saved because these people resigned. The people that Biden tried to bring on. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is putting us into the golden age. This is putting America first. Cleaning up government. I love it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button. John Reppy, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said good news for America daily. Thanks, Joel and the Patriots. God bless you, MAGA. Gene Kopich said, no wonder Texas is having all these problems with measles because no one got health checks before they were led into our country. Wow. And Teresa Weber said, Trump should deliver these criminals to the Dems' homes and build a wall. One big happy family. Yeah, let's do it. Because they want them so bad. Like, I'm telling you, I am so happy with what you're about to see next, guys. Because, again, it's America first, baby.
Trump's making bold redesigns to the White House, and it's setting the stage for the golden age. Historic paintings, shiny fixtures. The Oval Office looks like it was dipped in gold. Trump isn't just redecorating the White House, he's changing the guest list, too. Bill Maher visited Trump last week and said the meeting went splendidly.
Just for starters, he laughs. I've never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high.
Guys.
Maher even got an
autograph. That's good stuff.
First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out.
I don't want to get copyrighted on this, guy, so we're going to move forward. He copied out every single time that Trump had publicly called him like a mean name, like dumb, stupid, things like that. He showed Trump. He said, and Trump took it, took a pen, and signed it. Like, what a savage moment. Like, that's pretty sweet.
With good. The meeting went so well, Maher said he couldn't imagine having a similar talk with Obama or Clinton.
Wow.
I never felt I had to walk on them the way I would emblem.
But not every Democrat wants to be seen with Trump. Big Gretch hid her face from the cameras in the Oval. Look at that. And that didn't sit well with some people.
Wow.
One thing that
seem to symbolize kind of the weird place that Democrats are in, and is this photograph of Governor Gretchen Whitmer standing in the White House. Can we bring that pic up? It's a picture of Gretchen Whitmer hiding her face while standing in the newly goldified Oval Office. She's there to make deals for Michigan and talk about tariffs that she supports in a targeted way, et cetera, et cetera. A photographer comes in, all of a sudden she's like trying to hide behind a notebook. I mean, you didn't do this, so you don't need to justify it, Congresswoman. But what's going on with your party? Like, what is that?
Wow.
Big Gretch thinks people are taking this out of context. Her response, whatever. Mayor Pete grew a beard. He says the left needs to reinvent itself.
My party is terribly behind on is where we say it. And by this, I mean what media spaces we are in. My party's all up in arms about who's our Joe Rogan. We're not going to have a Joe Rogan of the left. That's not how it works.
Bearded Pete's right. Rogan was a Democrat before his party deported him. The problem with the left is that they don't have any charisma. Bernie and AOC are the best they have right now. This weekend, the two of them crashed Coachella to scream doomsday warnings to a bunch of people on psychedelics.
This country faces some very difficult challenges. And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. Now, you can turn away and you can ignore what goes on, but if you do that, you do it at your own peril. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
Talk about a bad trip. This gruesome twosome definitely have a buzz, but I'm not sure the Coachella crowd represents the average American voter. A new poll has AOC fourth in a hypothetical Democrat primary.
Kamala
21
Harris,
points
guys.
behind Harris. Bernie's not even on the list.
I hope Kamala Harris runs again. I want to see more word salads. I want to see more cackling. I want to see her try to put together a coherent sense again. I think she'll do great in 2028. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
Meanwhile, Democrats are lighting their torches for another witch hunt. They don't have any evidence Trump did something wrong, but that's not going to stop them.
Do you believe that Democrats have any real evidence that anyone in the administration profited off of the president's policies and announcements, or is this just a fishing expedition?
You know, here's the problem with Donald Trump and congressional Republicans is our whole system was designed to have checks and balances.
Do you think there's any evidence that anyone profited off of these tariffs?
There is enough of an offense here. There's enough smoke here that should demand congressional hearings.
Trust me, Trump's a criminal. I have the evidence, you just can't see it right now. Where have I heard that before? Spartacus should stick to hugging they-thems.
I have a question about LGBTQ rights because, as you know, we get attacked like every time a fascist government comes in. We can't even live our truth because me going out every single day as who I am puts me in danger. This is who I am, and I am not about to let him tell me who I am.
Thank you for coming. So first of all, can I have a hug?
Oh, that's just weird. That's just weird. No.
Thank you. So this is what really...
I don't even know how you pronounce... How do you do that, they, them? Like, hey, they. Is that how you do it? Like, when you say, like she's over there, do you say, like, they's over there? Is that how you do it? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Or, hey, them, could you come here? Or, hey, because you say, hey, bro, hey, or hey, girl, for girls, But the they, them, I don't even know how to speak that language, guys.
Bothers me about bullies.
If Democrats think Bernie, AOC, or Booker are viable options for 28, they're doomed. What the left needs is a dark horse candidate, someone like Stephen A.
Yep.
I have no choice because I've had elected officials, and I'm not going to give their names, elected officials coming up to me. I've had folks who are pundits come up to me. I've had folks that got a lot of money, billionaires and others, that have talked to me about exploratory committees and things of that nature. I'm not a politician. I've never had a desire to be a politician. I just signed a contract extension with ESPN. So I would hope somebody else would step up that's more qualified than me. But if it has to come down to me, it is something I would consider. Yes, I would, because I don't mind the thought of tussling with these folks at all, on the left or the right.
Guys, I'm telling you, I love the stuff that's coming out. So I've got some serious stuff to show you. I got to show you how conservatives deny people the right to vote, guys. I got to show you this chart. Number 1, they require ID. Number 2, they must be alive. Then they must not vote more than once, and they must require citizenship. Dang it, this is how conservatives deny people the right to vote. Guys, you can't make this stuff up, guys, but I got to show you this. This is David Sachs. He's our crypto czar in the government. He said, we knew the U.S. government runs a $2 trillion deficit every year. We're in debt almost $40 trillion, and every time someone tries to cut something in Washington, the whole system screams. Bloody murder. The question is why? Now we know. Everyone was getting paid. Guys, that is the corruption. And you know how far the corruption goes? Because like I said, what goes around comes around. Got to show you this. The very person that went after Trump for his real estate scandals is now under investigation for mortgage fraud. Listen to this.
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms.
Wow.
He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money.
Yes.
Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, in not just the civil but the criminal case, was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014 of the federal code, is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed.
Guys, if you appreciate this final exposure, guys, this is huge. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, I'm telling you what, I love this.
That property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is well-tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, we reached out to the DOJ, and they have no comment on this referral. We also reached out to Attorney General James, who did not respond to us either. So, again, everyone wants the best interest rate you can get. I understand that. But, you know, she's a lawyer. She knows that when you sign a mortgage application, that mortgage application, if you're borrowing money, if you're not borrowing money, nobody cares whether it's your principal residence, except, you know, where you file your taxes. But she decided to state that that was her principal residence, knowing it was not her principal residence. I didn't even know she had property. I mean, I guess she had property in Virginia and she has rental or investment property in New York. That's fine. But in the New York matter, to get the favorable rate, the building could only have 4 units. But for, it looks like its entirety, the entirety of this building, it had 5 units, meaning it was in violation of the actual loan agreement. And again, this is not a novel application of the law, Jonathan. As you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump, she was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel. This is a black and white issue. You either did or you didn't.
Right, and this has been prosecuted in the past. Now, we have not heard her side of this, but these documents themselves are quite damning. It's hard to see how the residences listed were her principal residence. The business about her father is just bizarre. Now, I'll note that one of the things that Letitia...
Guys, what a turn of events. A criminal referral to the DOJ to go after Letitia James, Attorney General of New York. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Because they tried to put Trump in jail. They tried to put his butt in jail for over 300 years. And look at him now, guys. What a... God, I love it. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments, in the chat, guys. This is hilarious.
James stressed in her case against Trump is that Trump had to review documents that were filed in his name. And so she dismissed the argument that this was something that Trump's people put together. She said he's ultimately responsible. So they allege that she gave a power of attorney in a couple of these instances. But according to her own standard, that's not enough.
Well, Professor, the referral cites the case against the former Baltimore City prosecutor, Marilyn Mosby, because she was sentenced to a year in home confinement for lying about her finances to make early withdrawals from retirement funds during COVID, and then fraudulently claimed that her own $5,000 was a gift from her then husband as she closed on a Florida condo. So the idea that again, this is just no one ever goes after politicians for these types of, which may seem like small amounts, and they add up.
They do, and this is really for James, the very case that she most famously brought. She insisted that these technicalities matter and that the powerful should not be given a free pass. Well, that bill has come due in this case. She's going to have to deal with this filing. I'm honestly just not sure how you defend against this unless you say that these are fraudulent documents.
Jonathan, I have to raise this because the Democrats, you know, when this really starts to blow up, which it should after the show, they're going to say, look, aha, see, this is a revenge presidency. They're weaponizing the DOJ against Democrats, so it's a tit for tat. Do you see that as a potential vulnerability here?
Well, we are certainly living in that age, but the fact is James herself rejected that argument made when she brought, in my view, a ludicrous case in New York. That case was something that ultimately resulted in a grotesque ruling. By the way, the timing here is not good. We're waiting for the appellate decision to come down. It's been a very long time. Each day we're looking for the appellate court to issue the review. Many of us expect suspect that it will not go well for James. But having this pop up in the news just couldn't be great for her team. I'm sure they are really in a very tight fetal position right now.
Yeah, well, Pulte was on this show saying that he was going to get to the bottom of all fraud, waste, and abuse in his department, and there's a lot of it over there, and maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg for mortgage fraud across the United States involving, in this case...
Guys, again, I love it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Guys, thank you so much for your support. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News, helping us to grow this community. We want you here. We want to continue to serve you every day with the top news. Guys, want to say thank you to everybody that is a member and who's given through a super chat. Guys, remember, we're giving to the charity New Beginnings on the 22nd of this month, live on stream, guys. Y'all see me give thousands of dollars away because it's your support. It's my support. We partner together and we give to these local charities to change lives, guys. Now, I just want to say thank you so much. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor, hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much. I want to say thank you to those tonight who've given Ruby Hoove, Pierre and Paulette, Marilee Williams, Jean Kopich, Teresa Weber, Sherry Garcia, John Reppy, Boston Dottie of IG said, thank you for running such a great show. I enjoy how you present info. I love what you do with the money raised here. God will continue to bless you. Amen. God bless you, Boston Dottie. Y'all show... And Jerry White, welcome to the family, guys. Y'all show them some love in the chat. This is amazing. It's awesome. So happy to continue serving you every day. Thank you to everybody that shares these videos. And guys, we're growing this community. We're growing the truth, and we're growing our giving. That's what it's all about, guys. I love you all so much. I'm here to serve you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.